Well, Deeping has been involved in many different activities over the years, reaching from experimental development, technical services, process design, and of course R&D. And he has been the director of all the programs at UOP related to olefins. Deeping has really been the head of the development and commercialization activities of several very important UOP processes, including the Oleflex, the PACOL, the Define, and the UOP SEPSA detail, and not the least of the, I think, potentially very important UOP Hydro MTO process. Deeping has received several honors. He holds 78 patents and has edited and co-authored more than 125 publications. So it is indeed a great honor to welcome Deeping to give his plenary presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Rapso. It's my great pleasure to be here today. I'm going to see such an august audience, such a distinguished speakers. First, I'd like to let you know that, as pointed out, that my work has been in process design and process scale-up. I'm not a catalysis scientist. So after using the first two very nice catalysis lectures, you will see that I'm really going to not put much of the catalysis part, but some of the overall summary of what is happening in the C1 chemistry, what has happened in the past, and where we will be going in the future. So, with a brief introduction, I will talk about the methane conversion processes. We'll talk about something new, molecular sieves catalyst, importance of that, leading into the newer catalysts like SAPO materials, methanol to olefin process, and a brief summary of it. So, first let's look at the natural gas resources. Why are we talking about methane? There are significant large reserves of natural gas in the world, amounting to 179 trillion cubic meters. But if you look at that, there are they are in most part in Russia and in the Middle East. Majority is not well distributed geographically. So what it means that a lot of this natural gas is stranded or is far away from its users. So, use of natural gas for generating power, electricity, via LNG or directly. Other basic chemicals via synthesis gas like ammonia, methanol, all are well practiced. I'm not going to go into any of those technologies as they are well practiced. These uses, however, small. We need to find other new processes that can make it feasible for the large use of natural gas, particularly stranded natural gas. So, there are two types of processes I like to cover for C1 utilization. One is the indirect processes and direct processes. The indirect process, of what I mean is via synthesis gas. And at present I will not mention those ones, but let's first talk about the direct conversion of natural gas and the challenges for those processes. Methane conversion, direct coupling, oxidative coupling of methane to higher hydrocarbon or higher olefins. Methane aromatization to benzene, toluene, or other aromatic compounds. Methane halogenation, where methyl chloride, methyl bromide, and so other methyl halogenation that can be then further transformed into a higher hydrocarbon. And direct conversion of methane to methanol via oxidative route. These are the routes which has been studied in the past, they are continuing to be studied, and there has been some activities in that, and I'd like to mention those. First, looking at methane coupling. And this is a little bit older. My team prepared this one late 1998, 99. So most recent data are not in it. But to the number of over the last 50 years, there have been a number of articles in the literature about using varieties of types of catalysts for direct coupling of methane, oxidative coupling of methane. And you can see that practically every element in periodic table in some combination and oxides have been tried. Lanthanum oxides and others have been shown some promise. What you see in this chart is the conversion selectivity relationship. So this is methane conversion, this is selectivity to higher hydrocarbon, anything C2 and higher hydrocarbon. What you have seen is that a conversion goes up, selectivity is substantially declining, and what it means that the carbon of the methane is mostly then going into CO2, carbon dioxide. So that's a loss of really a big loss of selectivity, and the one on the top what is shown here is what is the economical target one needs to have to make direct coupling of methane a commercial reality. If something low conversion like 30% and a selectivity of something like 95%, or a higher conversion near 100% and selectivity of something around 80-85%. That's the range. Well, we cannot afford to lose the carbon of the feedstock into directly going into CO2. Otherwise, it becomes very uneconomical process. So that is a target, and this is where we are with a number of other literature data showing, and work continues to go on. This is a big challenge for the catalysis scientists to continue. So, coming to the aromatization, again there is a lot of literature in this shown, and there are some references cited here. Conversion has been shown has been between 6 and 20%. Still a quite low conversion. Selectivity in the range of 80 to 90% at a very high temperature of 782 degrees Celsius. Most of the products they are reporting are benzene. But benzene is not that attractive of a product today. As you know, that benzene limitation in gasoline and so forth, and there are a certain amount of limitation of its use there. So the economical process to make a gain would be in the kind of range where the conversion will require in the range of 40% or higher, with a very high selectivity in 90% and so forth. So again, this work is going on. There are, and it's continuing to be, and the targets what needs to be, it is shown here. Selective oxidation of methanol. There are several different approaches being tried in selective oxidation of methane directly to methanol. There is gas phase oxidation of methane to methanol was reported by Han and his associate, and it was reported in Journal of Chemical Engineering Japan in 2004. There are several researchers have shown liquid phase oxidation in sulfuric acid media with some other promoters. And there are articles reviews shown in 2006 in Journal of Chemical Communications in UK. And there are several other researchers have shown some of the data with sulfuric acid. I only shown a couple of references here. Also, sulfuric acid in presence of iodide promoter has been reported for a direct oxidation of methane to methanol. But none of these have shown a promise to getting to the commercial reality. Again, conversions are shown are in the 10, low teens, and therefore commercial big recycle of methane requires then a huge compression cost, and that becomes economically not reality. So this is still being worked on, and maybe one of these days we will be able to see this direct conversion be a reality. Looking at halogenation. Now in this one, there is some promising results if you look at that, because halogenation conversion is very high. Conversion can be achieved for methane to methyl chloride, methyl bromide. Conversion in the class of 25 to 40%. Conversions are reported with very good selectivity, basically. And then methyl chloride, methyl bromides could be transformed to other hydrocarbons. And these are the data reported in the literature. So here again are some of the references for the chlorination and bromination work. Lester and Associates in 1964, as earlier there. Professor George Ola at University of Southern California, USC, did a number of work. He's a Nobel laureate in hydrocarbon and chemistry. He's a patent in 1985. There are some more recent patents also assigned to a number of different investigators for conversion of methane to methyl chloride, methyl bromide, and then taking to the higher hydrocarbons. Again, none of these are yet commercially practiced. So, with that challenge still remain, what we need today. Now, that use today is a biosynthesis gas. You know, biosynthesis gas, we can do a number of things. Natural gas is better as one. The synthesis gas, then, or we can all come from coal, where to synthesis gas, and when synthesis gas is done, we can have a number of new products. The synthesis gas, we go to Fischer-Tropsch, and I won't get into details of Fischer-Tropsch in chemistry. We heard from the most eminent experts on Fischer-Tropsch chemistry, from Dr. Davis, and looking at synthesis gas to hydrogen and ammonia is well practiced again, so we will talk about it. Methanol is commercially produced, about 30 million tons of methanol is commercially produced today, somewhere about that, 30, 32, and it's again well established. Direct synthesis to DME is also reported. Work done in Japan and also work done at Topsoe has shown direct synthesis to DME. Once you have this methanol or synthesis gas, you can make a number of products. Methanol can go to the very important products like formaldehyde, acetic acid, MTBE, or methanol to gasoline, and also olefins. So, again, as I mentioned, Fischer-Tropsch, I just give you examples of that is commercially proven. SAPO has been operating for more than 30 years. Shell in Malaysia has a plant that's been in operation for almost a couple of decades now. Oryx in Qatar started last year and it's been running. There are new projects in planning and construction. So this is a moving gas to liquids becoming a reality. This slide shows a kind of a value additions. What's the first bar shows here is the natural gas. It says that if you have natural gas at the wellhead, these are the areas, remote areas away from its users, where it's a $1 million BTU in that natural gas, and that's about, roughly speaking, 22 kilos. If you look at it in terms of the one mole of natural gas would be that quantity, or equal to 1 million BTU will be about that much. If you take that one as an LNG, its value is about $4.50. If you take that as a gasoline, it converted to that, we have fished GTL, its value is around $4 a million BTU. Methanol gives you up to 6. But if you convert that methane, that quantity, to olefins or polymers, your value addition to $10 or $12 equivalent. So $1 raw material, how it goes to the chain, depending upon what technology you use and what your desired end products are. So now coming to something like use of Zivotec catalysis, how that can transform the methane utilization. In 1975, Mobil disclosed ZSM-5-based methanol to gasoline process. It was commercialized in New Zealand in around 80s, but at that time oil prices was dropped down back to $10 a barrel. When oil was down to that, gas to liquids, basically indirectly via methanol, did not become economical. Plant was shut down after a few years of operation. But this chemistry is well developed, well established, well proven. And it showed that methanol can go through dimethyl ether and dimerize to the higher hydrocarbon. It's a very complex reaction mechanism, shown very simply here, but you could make a higher hydrocarbon, aromatics and olefinic gasoline product. So, Mobil also then disclosed later on, about a few years later, using the same catalyst type but changing the operating conditions, that process can be used to make olefins also. And their olefin selectivity shown was about 60% of the olefin selectivity. And olefin fraction increases as conversion decreases. So that's one of the reactions they showed. They did a demonstration unit, almost like 200 barrels a day in Germany for methanol to olefins at that time. Technology again never got commercialized. So I have seen some of the references like Dr. Chang and other references at the bottom. So now looking at the ZSM-5, what is it? This is a medium pore size, three-dimensional molecular series, 10-ring structure. and how does this is important of shape selectivity and then discovery of some of the new zeolites and how that has played a role. So if you look at that, there are a number of different molecular shapes and materials got discovered over the last 30 to 40 years. Since 1960s discovery of GSM-5, number of new materials have come up. 8-ring, 12-ring large pores, 12-ring very large, a medium ring, 10-ring for 5 to 6 angstrom. So all these different materials having a different gauge and shapes, sizes that have given a completely different reaction mechanism possibility from taking one reaction to other reaction. And so, continuing that one that happens to be coming to 80s, Davy Flanagan and her team discovered aluminum carbide, a completely new set of materials called silicon-aluminum phosphates. These silicon-aluminum phosphates gave again a huge possibilities of reactions. This part of the molecular shifts division of aluminum carbide became part of EOP in late 80s, and I had a fortunate time to work with Didi before she retired a couple of years before me. So, and she was the only woman scientist to receive the highest award of the American Chemical Society, Perkin Medal. She was a recipient about 5-6 years ago. So SAPO-34 is one of the material of SAPO family, and that shows some unique selectivity to methanol to olefins, gives very high selectivity to C2C4 olefins. So now we look at the different SAPO materials and see now what happens. You have SAPO-34, and it is a medium pore, low acidity. You have SAPO-11, then you have SAPO-5, very large pore, and you see the selectivity they are shown here. Green bar shows you the C5 very heavy hydrocarbon. The red one shows you C2, C3 olefins, and then other ones showing you the paraffins and a little bit of CO. So basically what shows that if you have a small pore, low acidity material, you are seeing very high olefin. You go to SAPO-11, suddenly your distribution becomes wide. Get something closer to the GSM-5 type material by SAPO-5. When you use that, it looks like more like GSM-5 material. So here's a comparison of GSM-5 and SAPO-34 for methanol to olefins. The first bar shows yellow ones are SAPO and the blue ones are GSM-5. And you can see SAPO predominantly makes ethylene and propylene, while when you look at the blue bars, you will see that it makes predominantly propylene, but then going down. These are run under the olefin condition, not making gasoline condition. So it was run under olefin making conditions. But it makes predominantly propylene and then C4 olefins, but still makes C5 plus gasoline, because it's a large core material compared to SAPO-34. So in SAPO-34, you can see the once through product yield, ethylene propylene would add up to those numbers would be about close to 80%. With GSM-5, you add up to that to C2, C3 would be around 50%. This is a significant difference between the two. And this is why it is so. It is because of the shape selectivity, the size and the acidity of these materials. If you look at SAPO-34, it's a small pore, big acidity. GSM-5 is a medium pore, strong acid size. This difference is causes into getting a higher molecular weight material with the GSM-5. The size is 5.5 angstrom versus 3.8. If you look at those ethylene propylene molecules, and if you look at their ethylene propylene molecular sizes are shown here, and that shows that SAPO-34, ethylene and propylene can easily go diffuse in and out. But if you look at bigger size like benzene, that's not going to be possible. So SAPO-34 can't make any heavier material because nothing can diffuse out of the SAPO-34. It has to crack it. While in GSM-5, because the size is 5.5, the benzene is about 5, so benzene molecule like aromatics will come out. So that's why it goes to their product and the product comes out. Yes. So what is important? The cavity dimension, pore opening are very important for selectivity. Acid site density is also important to make right products. So for olefin production, mild acidity is more desirable. If you have an acid site on external structure, it will cause more aromatic and formation. Unfortunately, SAPO materials does not have exterior acid sites. So So this is a mechanism. This was published in Catalysis Today, 2002. Described as a very detailed paper about showing methanol to olefin mechanism. And in short, it describes that it is a formation of methylation oligomers. So inside the cage, actually it makes big molecules, aromatic, methyl aromatics, and then it breaks away to the molecules of ethylene and propylene because it can come out of SAPO. In case of ZSM5, it comes out. So this mechanism or hydrocarbon pool, so the formation of dimers and aromatization method, and then cracking is mentioned the next. So this is the research, and later on became a joint development with the Norsk Hydro of Norway, and there is a demonstration plant, 1 ton per day, and these are the data for steady-state operation in the fluidized bed, and the conversion of always near maintaining 100%, very stable selectivity of ethylene and propylene, and if you add up those numbers, will add up to about 80. So we are the first commercial design done. This plant is for Nigeria. The front end of the methanol plant is a topsoil technology to make methanol, 7,000 tons per day methanol plant. Unfortunately, this plant has not moved forward as one would have liked to see it because of the Nigerian internal politicals and other stability questions. But still, project is still on. It is expected to move forward in the next 6 months to a year, and you might see some more announcement on it. So, SAPO-34 continues to be a preferred catalyst. Acid site density and crystal size play an important role. MTO technology has been further advanced from the data that I showed you, that we can go into much even higher selectivity and more stability of the catalyst. Up to 90% of light olefins now we can show ethylene plus propylene. When we say light olefins, only ethylene propylene. We take C4 as a not light olefins. So now looking at this application, how does this fit in our overall scenario? In our overall scenario, if you look at that, to make an economically viable process today, in today's financing, you need something like 5 million ton MTA LNG plant, which will cost, which would require something like 42.2 standard cubic meters per day of natural gas. And if you say it's an economical life, once it has to be 30 years to pay all the debt and make an economical life of 30 years, then this is the quantity of the field size to be required. Okay, billion of standard cubic meters. Gas to liquid, people have shown that some of the big plants are slowing down, and they are finding out the investment cost has been higher than expected, but the Shell plant is going forward. But economical size now, people are talking, is going to be size of $100,000 a day for gas to liquids to make it economical at the oil price of $40, $50 a barrel. If today's price, as it continues to remain 60 and higher, of course, you can make it somewhat smaller. Gas to polymers, you can do less than 1 million ton capacity. And the amount of gas you need is that, and so this much smaller. If you look at all the gas fields that are known, and this is Oil and Gas Journal publication, that some of the things that we cut out here, 3,000, some gas, 300 and some gas fields are totally shown here. You see that large gas fields are very few that can support LNG and GTL of that capacity that will have 30 years of supply reserves. That plant will be able to take the feed and be economical. If you look at the significantly large number of gas fields are in the size between 30 and 150 million cubic meters, and those will be good applications for petrochemicals applications, because smaller plant in the petrochemical application, because the large delta between the raw material and the product value, you can afford a smaller plant. So there is a lot of activities going on. This slide shows a patent activity. I'm coming to my summary and near the end now. So if you look at this one, it shows the methane to methanol, and this is coupling. And you can see that the activities has increased over the time, and then Fischer-Tropsch activity, C-Watch coupling that declined, and lately that direct oxidation picking up. If you look at syngas to fissiotrophs, again, look at these activities. The red one is syngas, and second one is the alcohols, and the blue ones are the fissiotrophs. And you can see the fissotroph activity was very high up in the 80s, that declined because of the oil prices went down. Again, today if you look at the last few years, fissiotrophs has picked up significant patent activities in that. And if you look at this green bar that added that methanol to olefins, methanol to gasoline, again, this early days here early, there was a mobiles development in early part, there was a peak up around here, not much work, and lately methanol to olefins, methanol to gasoline, methanol to propylene, all of those MTP, MTO activity has substantially increased, and green bar shows a significant increase in patent activity in this area. So, in summary, I like to say that EOP and many other companies and institutions all over the world are working on a breakthrough route for direct conversion of natural gas, direct conversion of methane to a valuable product. Currently, there does not appear to be a cleaner winner at this time for direct conversion of methane to hydrocarbon or chemicals. But patenting in the indirect route has significantly increased. That all goes through via syngas. And MTO route, methanol to olefin, provides you the most higher profit margins and economical process. I like to acknowledge my colleagues at EOP and also my colleagues at Hydro for providing information, as most of this information, as you know, about 6 months ago I retired and I'm representing EOP at this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivian, for giving us this very clear and interesting overview of natural gas conversion possibilities, including the MTO. This paper is now open for questions from the audience. Yes, please. Do we have a microphone?
Oh, yes.
For the front row.
University. A very excellent overview. This is very interesting field. Can you control the ratio of ethylene and propylene by changing some additive element or conditions?
The question is, can we control the ratio of ethylene and propylene?